Hey guys, what's happening? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and check it out. We're back to a sort of regular video format after a week of me yelling and screaming at you about the Nintendo Switch, visiting the event in New York, and showing you all this footage and all this stuff, which you're probably getting sick of. Well, luckily, for the most part, that stuff's behind us. I'm out of footage. I think I've gotten out most of the things I needed to talk about visiting New York City and the Nintendo Switch event. So now we can kind of get back to some normal stuff. Although, of course, the normal stuff I'm talking about still revolves around the Nintendo Switch because it's the thing that everyone's talking about. I can't stop thinking about it because I just was playing it. And we know it also launches in just under 2 months' time, so it's a really good time to be excited for the Switch and for Nintendo. What I wanted to do is discuss basically my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch as a whole 1 week later. And when I say 1 week later, I mean 1 week to the day. Today is Thursday, January 19th. 1 week to the day after Nintendo unveiled the details about the Nintendo Switch in Tokyo on January 12th. And of course, part of the reason I wanted to do this is because I have a very unique perspective on the Nintendo Switch, because between the reveal on January 12th and today, 1 week later, I of course did go to New York and actually play the Nintendo Switch for many hours, and all of those games, and Breath of the Wild, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2 ARMS, all these different things. So I felt it was going to be a pretty good idea for me to just discuss overall, the Nintendo Switch 1 week after the reveal, with the details I've now experienced firsthand, and kind of discuss really what's going on with the Nintendo Switch and how I feel everything might turn out. So it's no surprise that I have mostly nothing but great things to say about the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I'm just on cloud nine every time I think about it, and every time I relive what I experienced playing it in person, because it was really so fantastic. Now, when we start going back a week ago to the event on January 12th, I of course did discuss that and my feelings both before and after in a video. And there's no doubt that there are a lot of elements of that show and presentation that maybe weren't as exciting and didn't go the way most of us wanted, me included. And I was discussing beforehand how I really didn't expect it to be this huge pomp and circumstance sort of E3 presentation, and that really did help me still walk away overall feeling good about it. But when I look at the way the third-party situation played out and the way that they doled out software, I feel like a lot of that stuff could have been handled even better, still considering the fact that it was in Japan, and it was to business partners and investors, and it was in Japanese language with a bunch of translators over. I still think that there was a better way that could have happened that would have maybe made all of us, myself included, feel a little bit better. You know, I'm someone who loves my third-party games. Most of you who are familiar with me know that. Yes, I'm a diehard Nintendo fan first and foremost, but I love the third-party companies and the games they make when they're good. I have a humongous collection of third-party content on my PS4 and Xbox One, and I love it. And those are very often my favorite games of the year, and I think that the third-party companies, when they're on their A-game, are sometimes making some of the best and most progressive content in the gaming industry, and sometimes they're the ones pushing stuff forward just as much, if not more so, than Nintendo. In different ways, of course, because they're so consistently relevant, and Nintendo has had a lot of ebbs and flows over the last couple of years, which hurts me to say because they're my favorite company, but, you know, at least we're on the upswing right now, and everything's looking so good. They're riding a lot of hype into the Nintendo Switch. The Tokyo event both helped in a lot of ways and also hurt them in a lot of ways because there were so many people who were disappointed, and in a few ways for good reason. But when I look at everything that's happening, overall, there is no doubt that the Nintendo Switch is going to be a hit, you guys. It's so fantastic. You've probably seen my 25-minute recap of the Nintendo event with Gaming With Me a couple of days ago, so you've heard me talk about this stuff, but I'm going to reiterate it anyway because we all love talking about the Nintendo Switch. So, honestly, the Nintendo Switch is going to be the business, you guys. It is going to be so fantastic. It is going to blow everyone away in terms of the tech. Now, I'm not quite yet talking about library. That's a whole different kind of beast to tackle there that I'll get to in a minute. But in terms of just what the Switch is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it plays like, how it operates, what it is as a piece of tech and hardware and brand new gaming machine, it is awesome, you guys. It delivers on everything it's trying to be. It is a home console that is a portable. It is a portable that is a home console. It's got incredibly quality tech happening inside of that machine, inside of the tablet, and inside of those freaking awesome Joy-Cons. Like, I can't stress how fantastic and revolutionary the Joy-Cons really feel. in terms of both comfort, whether they're apart or whether they're in the grip, and in terms of what they actually allow us to do when playing games, and what hopefully, fingers crossed, video game industry, what hopefully developers will do with them. What I would hate to see is a situation where third-party developers try sort of half-assedly to do some things with Nintendo's cool new tech, but then they end up abandoning it almost completely. That happened with the Wii Remote eventually, and it happened with the gamepad very early on. And I was like, where are these companies showing their creativity and imagination by making great stuff using Nintendo's tool, this gamepad or this Wii Remote or whatever? Here we have what I think is probably my favorite piece of tech Nintendo has ever created, based on the quality of the tech, its execution, and the promise, the potential, what people who are very smart and inventive could do with these Joy-Cons and what Nintendo's done, and the ability to take your game on the go and play it at home. I mean, really creative, good developers, I think, Nintendo included here, of course, could make great stuff utilizing this tech and just knock it out of the park. And I don't want anyone to squander this opportunity, you guys. I really want this to be delivered on. So, and forgive me, by the way, because part of the reason you don't see me on camera is not only do I not have a whole lot of time to get on camera and do that editing, because that takes a while, but I'm also getting a little bit sick. My nose is kind of stuffy, so I really hope I'm not doing a lot of sniffling into the microphone here, because that would be gross. Anywho, back to the topic at hand. I really just believe in the tech of the Nintendo Switch, you guys, and in the Joy-Cons. I think it's going to blow you guys away. Everyone is going to be so surprised and fantastically satisfied with what this thing is as a machine. And luckily, we all get to play the brand new Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is going to be like the greatest game ever, as soon as it comes out. So at least we all have an amazing triple A experience to play. That first day we all take home our brand new Nintendo Switches, and everyone is just going to be so surprised at how great this thing is and how well it operates and how comfortable the Joy-Cons really are. At least when you have one in each hand or in the grip. Now, when there's on their side, they still are comfortable and they're very cool, but they are tiny. So a lot of us may struggle with that a little bit. But you know, I'm just kind of glad to share how much I think this is going to be a hit, at least in terms of the tech, you guys. It's really going to surprise everyone. Now, the software thing is the big thing that I think we need to stop and consider, based on how that part of the presentation really didn't wow any of us. And a lot of people were maybe looking for a little bit too many third-party reveals, and it's like, well, that's not really what this Nintendo show was going to be, of course. For myself, even though I didn't expect a whole lot, I still wanted more than what we got, and I wanted something smoother than what we got. Yes, I know translation is an organic thing that sometimes you can't predict, but still, the overall thing was just so unfortunate. And it's like, we haven't seen a lot of promise right now, like we sort of thought we would, of third-party stuff. Now, I'm also recording this after yesterday's Fire Emblem Direct from Nintendo, so we know that there's some Fire Emblem things coming to the Switch soon. Both the mainline game next year in 2018 and Fire Emblem Warriors, of course, at some point. All great news, but again, that's still first-party stuff. What are we getting from Sega? What are we getting from Rockstar? What are we getting from EA and Activision? Are we going to get Call of Duty? We're going to get Red Dead Redemption? Are we going to get Resident Evil, Final Fantasy? What's happening with Square, Beyond Dragon Quest? All these different things. So many things. Even more indies. We have a couple of indie-related things. We've got, like, Has Been Heroes and stuff coming. And, of course, Disgaea we know is coming as another third-party game. That's going to be great. But, man, where's the big stuff? Where's the big reveals? What's Platinum doing? And even what's Retro doing, which is, of course, first-party. But still, we need to know more about these other games. It's not a great launch, sure. Of course, it is launching with, you know, what's going to be the best launch title of all time with Breath of the Wild, but other than that, there's not a lot of exciting things. But we, of course, do know that we're getting other great games by the end of the year, like Splatoon, like ARMS, like Mario, potentially one of these Fire Emblem games. Like, there's definitely some good stuff coming from Nintendo. What are the third parties doing? Now, before Nintendo has an opportunity to show us, I still think great things about the Switch, and everyone needs to be just seriously freaking out and chomping at the bit to get their hands on it on March 3rd, for those of us that have one reserved. But man, Nintendo really does need to very soon show us what's happening with the third-party stuff, and the third-party companies themselves need to come out and start showing us what they're doing, what they have available for the Switch, what's exclusive, what's a multi-platform port. I mean, this stuff really is important, you guys. It's important for Nintendo now more so than almost ever. They really tried to survive without third-party support on the Wii U, at least once the third parties abandoned them early on. And we all know that that didn't work out, unfortunately. The Wii U, a great system that didn't have what it needed to sustain itself or sell very well. And it's freaking super tragic, and I just hate how true that is. But it's also giving us the Nintendo Switch, so that part is exciting. But yeah, Nintendo needs to show us that third parties are coming. I hope they do it before the March 3rd launch, maybe with another couple surprise directs or just announcements or press releases or trailers, or maybe they're going to wait till after the launch on March 3rd. Or, as I talked about many, many months ago, maybe that's what E3 is about. Maybe they're going to come back full force at E3 this year and really just destroy it. Get Reggie back up on stage, man. Let's do this thing, Nintendo. Let's get real serious. Let's get aggressive. Let's show everyone why you guys matter, you count, you're relevant, and why you are the best in the biz and been doing it the longest in the biz. Why are you the kings of the video game industry? I really think you have an opportunity to blow it out of the water at E3 and show the world why Nintendo still kicks ass. So anywho, I'm going to wrap it up here because at this point I just want to cut my nose off of my face and I don't want to keep talking. I'm all sick into the microphone and potentially sniffling for you guys. And I mean, that's the most of what I have to say really about Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. At the end of the day, a week later, with a full day of getting my hands all over it and playing the games and the controllers, I can tell you guys, when the Nintendo Switch launches, it is going to be the greatest. This is potentially going to be the greatest Nintendo hardware they've ever made. Now, the software lineup is going to determine how quality the machine is overall throughout its life, but in terms of just what it is, how cool and inventive it is, how quality the tech is, it is nothing like a toy. It is some serious, serious quality work here. This thing is going to be one of the best things that Nintendo's ever put out in terms of just products. It's going to be great. I mean, March 3rd is going to blow us away, and I hope you guys are all as excited as I am. Oh my freaking god, Nintendo Switch is coming, and it's going to be fantastic. So that's what's going on. What do you guys think about my thoughts about the Nintendo Switch 1 week later? How great it looks, my thoughts about getting my hands all over it. Do you think third parties are really going to impact it as much as maybe I'm thinking? What do you guys think about all this Nintendo Switch stuff, and how excited are you? So of course, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will of course catch you next time on another video.